Yo, welcome to another episode of AutisHim, Black Fathers and Autism. I'm here with my brothers, Nick, Lonnie, Trav. Lonnie getting the scene right, so he's going to be on in a second. We were talking about this basketball game at the BMBA Summit. I wasn't there. I couldn't participate, had family duties, but my brothers are going to talk to you guys and let you know how the atmosphere was, how the event was. I was able to live stream it. They definitely represented for AutisHim, but I want them to get into and talk about it. We were just talking about the basketball game. And, you know, not Nick, but Trav did his thing a little bit. And, you know, hey, man, I wish I was out there with you, brother. I really wanted to be out. I can't believe I missed this shit. God, man, it's the basketball itself. I just want the hoop.
So we had to mix our team up a little bit. Shout out to the brothers that I played with. You know, being 5'7", 33, the shortest person on the court. It was a bit interesting. So mind you, I hadn't hooped in so long, but just to be able to get out there, I got a couple buckets, especially in front of wifey. I had to make sure I scored in front of my wife. That was
wifey was cheering you on. Wifey was cheering you on.
Amazing time. Shout out to all the brothers within the ABA space, RBTs. Some brothers was hooping. Them BCBAs had skills. So shout out to everybody. The vibes was something definitely that was just one of a kind. It was a great experience. And then, of course, my brothers, Lonnie and Nick, being there to support me on the court as well. But no, we got a lot to unpack about last weekend. So first off, for those who don't know, we attended the second annual, first in-person BMBA Summit in Atlanta, Georgia. This was an event that was top tier. As somebody that's been going to Atlanta for at least the last 12, 15 years, I would have to say this is like a top 3 trip for me. Just the experiences, the connections. Oh my God. Lonnie and Nick, if you guys kind of want to just kick off, like, what was it like when mind you, we all first met each other for the first time in person this past weekend. So let's start there. Because I think that's a big deal for us to have been doing this for some years and just meeting for the first time. So let's start there. What do you guys think?
You want to go, Lonnie? You want me to go?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. It was just like my brothers. Period. Like Lonnie and I drove together because Lonnie and I now live in a closer proximity in NC. So Lonnie came through, and it was like when he pulled up, it was just like I hadn't seen him in years. Like we've been kicking it forever. I mean, I consider all of y'all my bros, and so that's how I treat y'all. Like that's how I treat my bros. Like, yo, it doesn't matter how long we've been apart. Like when we get together, you know, fam is fam. And so when, you know, I jumped in with Lonnie was gracious enough to drive, and I appreciate that. But you definitely like don't want to fall asleep around Lonnie on the road. He will honk the shit out your ass. Like if you swerve, you getting a honk. Like don't even, like Lonnie is a safe driver, so I appreciate that. Got me there, got me safe. But it was like you know, and then when we got there, you know, running in the Trav coming down, it was just like, yo, like here go my other bro. Like we've been rolling for like 20, 30 years. Like that's how it felt. Like, you know, fam. And so like meeting the both of them for the first time in person wasn't a thing for me because like we've shared so much on the podcast, in our groups, you know, on camera, off camera, whatever. Like I talk to them more than I talk to like other, you know, like, for real, like family members. So, seeing them to me was just like the icing on the cake. Just being able to just be in the same space with them for the weekend. It was dope. I'll let y'all go ahead and say how y'all felt, but I was cooling.
Yeah, and my wife was like, "Who you picking up? Do you know these people? Like, who you riding with? Is it safe?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's my man's in there." But yeah, it was dope finally getting the chance to meet in person. Drive down was cool. It went super fast. You know, we was just, you know, shooting the shit back and forth, so that was dope. I really enjoyed the conference, top to bottom, just well organized. Everything about it was awesome. Now, I heard the term Black excellence a lot during the weekend. And so I just think about that. It was so dope to see so many folks doing important work in the autism space and outside of the autism space too. So all around, great event. Glad we attended. Looking forward to doing it again in the future. So it was nice.
That's
Definitely.
that's awesome, man. Not to try to jump around, but you guys were on the parent panel through their eyes at the BMBA Summit. And so I was able to live stream actually a lot of it. Not you guys is for sure, but just a lot of the conference I was able to live stream it, and that's cool, man. I enjoy watching it at home. But you guys got on that stage and represented. You represented, from the outside looking in, it looked like y'all might have been a little nervous in the beginning, like a little bit. I could be wrong about that. But once, the questions started flowing, you guys kind of opened up and really, do what you do. You talk about, being a parent, being a father, being a Black father, right? And so what was that like, being on that panel, the light shining bright? I don't know who the cameraman, not the cameraman, but the light man, it was kind of going back and forth a little bit. But what was that feeling like? What was it like being on that stage, seeing all those people and having that conversation?
Yo, let me tell you something about them lights. I'm real quick, just about the lights. I'm not gonna talk none of. I was sitting dead center in the middle of everybody on the stage, and that joint was like in my eyes, like it was like I couldn't see out into the crowd. So I'm trying to look down and look off, like they try to teach you to do when you're driving or whatever. But that joint was in my face, and I'm like, whoo, that's a bright light. But I know it was necessary.
Yeah.
In order to make everything, as professional as it was, because it was still professional. But just about that light, I wanted to try. I was trying to angle myself to get on the end,
that light,
but that's not how it worked out. So that joint was
that
right
light had
there,
a mind
I
of its
forget.
own. It was kind of moving. I was like, oh, okay. That I saw Travis kind of do one of these a little bit, like,
Yeah,
but
it's bright.
yeah, it was
The
bright,
lights
man.
is bright.
But yeah, talk about that
Yeah.
moment, man. What was it like?
So personally, I getting up on the stage. First of all, I thought we were in the green room. So even before we got on the stage, let me take a step back. We were in the green room, and the moderator came like a half an hour before we got on, just like we were told that we needed to do. But she didn't know, Ty, that you weren't there.
Oh, okay. Dang.
So she didn't get that information until
Okay.
like 30 minutes before we got on stage. But let me tell you how professional the moderator is. I had to do a little bit of elbow nudging to get Lonnie up there. But Lonnie was like, sure, I'll do it. Let me tell you, she got the picture, she got his info, and put together the slide presentation like that. It was, the change, even though there was a change in, the personnel, everything still flowed. And, we talked about who, how Lonnie could be, answer some of the questions that, that were predetermined, like the questions that we answered. We knew that those questions were coming. And some of the questions we already had answers for. So Lonnie champ, because he stepped in the ninth inning and like he hit a home run because he hadn't been a part of some of those previous conversations about, being on the panel. And for him to be able to fill in with his background, his experience. And I don't know if people remember, but Lonnie's a doctor.
Right.
So let's hold space for that. Like I had to tell the moderator, I was like, he's a doctor. This is a PhD dude right here. Like he's defended a dissertation and the whole night, and her eyes lit up. Oh yeah. So from my perception, once we got in the green room, we talked that out, that got worked out. And then when we got on the stage, I did think it took a little bit for everybody to kind of get settled, just to try to get comfortable in the space. But once we got comfortable in the space and those questions started running, like, I honestly believe that these two brothers, Trav and Lonnie, who were on the panel with me, just did a wonderful job. Like, whatever questions that came their way, they answered them with intelligence, grace. Like they were able to, come from their experience and be clear about what they were saying. The clarity was there. So it was just a wonderful time just being on the panel and, being up there with my brothers. It makes it 10 times better. The other three panelists, because the moderator was also a parent that had a kid on the spectrum, a child on the spectrum. So she gave her perception as well. But so the other three panelists were the ladies. They did a wonderful job as well. One of the ladies was a Supernova mom.
Yeah.
And I've
Natasha,
taken
yep.
Natasha, and
Natasha Nelson.
we were
Great job.
yeah, she's dope. So I definitely, she's dope. Emily, who was also on the panel, she was dope. And
Color.
April, who was the moderator, she was dope as well. So like we had an all-star panel, and anybody who wasn't able to be there live and in person, like they missed that. I said it right offhand. If you ain't in the room, you missing the all-star panel, because you got to understand that everybody on the stage had an experience that could influence how you interact with a child on the spectrum, because we're the parents of the children on the spectrum. So I think, from my perception, everybody did a wonderful job, hands down.
Agreed. Yeah, definitely. And with this being my first time being on a bigger stage, I've done the virtual conference before, but just being on stage, first off, Behavior Live was on it all weekend. Like they are a special set of individuals who coordinate all of these conferences. So I want to shout out Behavior Live. And
Yeah.
then, like we talked about, April just being prepared, and it's like she didn't miss a beat. And then just personally being able to speak, it was a blessing. Like, first off, my wife was there to support, so that was just amazing to do that in front of her, or it's something we had talked about and experienced together. So to be able to go up there, tell my truth, hopefully inspire others was just amazing. I got a lot of love just after that, and over this last, just for being a brave individual to go up there and say like, "Hey, I go through things. I'm not perfect, but at the same time, here are things that I do to help out, especially for those who are participating with ABA therapy with their child on the spectrum." So that was just something you couldn't pay for. Honestly, that was an experience which I'm hoping is going to kickstart something that's going to be very special for me and my family for a long time to come.
I was taking notes all weekend. I was on that panel, and Supernova Mom, she dope. She was just dropping knowledge, and that was pretty awesome to be a part of. And took a lot of notes, made a lot of connections. But on the panel, I think the interesting part is that we're real time living, raising autistic kids, right? And the things that apply and work historically may or may not work in the future. So you're always adapting your approach. You're always adapting things. And so before I left for the panel, I've been working with the kids in terms of having a sex ed talk again, going through those things. Got a bunch more books, and that came up during the panel. And so what's funny about that is I realized, as ready as I think I am, I'm still working on the right skills and techniques to have that discussion, those discussions, and how to cater them and move them in the right direction, right? And so something funny, I just realized part of the challenge I'm having is I'm trying to teach a kid who still believes in Santa about, the birds and the bees and intercourse and sex. And so I got to redo my approach. I might got to say, here's Santa and Mrs. Claus. I don't know. Here's where the elves came from. I don't know. I need a new approach. You know what I'm saying? So, but the panel was dope. It was, I felt, informative. And I'm hoping that listeners get as much from it as I got from it. Being a participant, my mind was going. I was thinking about the feedback on that stage, and so I left with a lot too from the whole weekend.
So let me say this: watching you guys on that stage, live streaming it. First of all, Lonnie, thank you for stepping in and just taking that over. I felt terrible. I feel like I let everybody down, but I had to do some things at home and I had to miss it. But I just want to say thank you for just taking over and doing what you do, man. And then the last thing I'll say, man, brother Nick, I'm gonna give you your flowers, man. You shut that boy down at the end. I thought I was listening to Malcolm X. I was like, wait, is Exo? And I check was something wrong with my team? Like, bro, you shut that boy down. And I know it came from the soul. It came out of nowhere, and I'm glad you said it because it needed to be said. But brother, you shut that boy down. I was so proud. You had me out my seat. Telling you.
Well, you're right. Think for where I was in this space. We spent a lot of time giving our experience and talking about our children.
Yeah.
And the BCBA's impacting on our children. Well, the BCBA's and RBTs in that community are also people, right? And so you can have an impact on our children by impacting your circle and creating a more harmonious world for our children. So it's not just about like the direct connection that you have when you go into a parent's home, but it's also about the connections you make when you're in other spaces, when you're talking to your friends, your family, and asking them, about their experiences with autism and those help guiding those conversations, because neurodivergent children interact with neurotypical children. And we can't put it all on the shoulders of the children that are neurodivergent. We need to try to working with other people as well. So how are you as a person, not as a BCBA or RBT or somebody in the autism space, but how are you as a person trying to help the ABA community or trying to help the neurodivergent community be, more accepted in society? Because that's just as important as our kids growing up with the proper tools that are needed inside of, surviving in society. You know what I mean? How does society interact with our children as well? So, I mean, I was definitely coming from that place because I think it honestly, we spend so much time and just trying to, just trying to like work on fixing our kids. You know what I mean? But we don't fix society. You know what I mean? So like we can do some more inclusiveness, some more openness, some more grace with society at large that may be considered atypical. So I mean, that's where I was coming from, because one day, if somebody in the room's child interacts with my child, I'm hoping that it could be a positive space, because, and it's just like Lonnie said. Lonnie was making a point of his experience. His child interacts better with people who have experience working with people inside of the autism community. You know what I mean? If they have a connection. So like if everybody acted like those people that had a connection, I think it could be a better situation for all of our children. Like I want all children, not just mine, but everyone, all of them to be as successful, as happy, as joyful as possible. It's not just me.
Well,
But I
brother,
appreciate being on
no,
there.
absolutely. Well, I tell you what, I know you being humble right now, but I thought you were Dr. Umar. I was like, this brother just went off. He just went off
Well,
on his panel.
let me say before I say anything else. Let me say this. I want to say this before I say anything else, and I should have said it first, but I want to say this before I say anything else. Jerron and Coop, who were on our show a few episodes ago, thank you, my brothers, just for providing the opportunity for three brothers to come and share space inside of your summit. So we want to thank you all. So before I say anything else, thank you, bros. We really appreciate just the opportunity of being in there and hopefully our experiences were able to enlighten not just the people in the building, but more BCBAs and RBTs out there.
Yeah.
If you haven't had a chance, check out the Beyond the Science podcast as well. Definitely looking forward to connecting with those brothers again. But yes, we do appreciate the opportunity. It's something we'll remember for a lifetime.
Absolutely. We about to say something, Lonnie?
Just, I wanted to say something else about the overall conference. I had thought that it was going to be Atlanta, ATL heavy, but it was a whole group of folks from California, people from Missouri, Wyoming, New York, Florida. And so it was really impressive the places people travel from to be there. That tells you the importance of having that community for this population of behavior analysts and whatnot. And so I just recognize in the same way we look for community as far as fathers and folks raising autistic kids, you can see that that community also was looking for other professionals who work in that space, who work with autistic families and whatnot. So that was good to see that it's a shared, I think, need to build community in the autism space. You know what I mean? So that was dope to see that just a number of folks who came from all over the country to be there.
Yeah. So with that being said, because you guys had your panel, I know you guys went to other workshops as well. What are some of the workshops that you attended? Like, what are some that stood out to you?
You want to go, Lonnie? Or you want me to go?
You go ahead.
So there was one by Justin Reynolds, who is like
Oh, yeah, that was
a
dope.
parent trainer, like whisperer. Like they bring him in when to help people with parent training. I wish I could remember the title of his book, but he has a book. So look up Justin Reynolds, and his book is out there. But his information and how he comes authentically him. Like Justin rolled up there with a baseball cap. You know, he had his college shorts on and his Vans. Like so he did his version of professional and was still able to come across and give a presentation that, although it was some people may have considered it like graphically, black and white, but the message was huge in that. And his I took a lot away from his presentation. And then real quick, there was a ladies panel. It was 5 ladies on there that were BCBAs or in the autism space, different. Some were teachers, and some were BCBAs, and some were owners. But they had a panel workshop. They had a workshop panel that talked about how Black women could support the Black male BCBA, and I thought that was powerful in itself, because oftentimes, especially in today's society, we got a lot of button heads between the genders, but these ladies were actually out there looking to support and sharing information of how they support Black men in the space, because that population needs to grow.
Justin was the one that showed that Marshawn Lynch video, right?
Yeah.
I watched his. It was good. He was good.
Yeah, Justin is the man.
Yeah. Lonnie, any workshops stick out to you?
Yeah, that was. I really enjoyed the keynote day one. I mean, he was just dropping knowledge, bringing in the father of ABA, bringing in Skinner, overlapping some Carver. Just, I think that ABA in a lot of ways is still new. It's still controversial, and but I believe in the benefits when done well of ABA, right? And so you had a whole organization, a whole bunch of professionals there talking about how can we support ourselves in this space? How can we, keep improving our knowledge, keep improving our impact? But what does that space look like in terms of supporting each other, career development? They had some folks, as Nick mentioned, over 100 years of experience on one panel we went to, you know what I mean? And so it was just hearing and learning more about the history of these professionals in this space and how much it has grown and is growing was pretty awesome to see.
Hey, Trav, I asked the question, was there any workshops that kind of stuck out to you?
Yeah, definitely the Talk to Me Nice workshop. Also, the live Beyond the Science podcast, bringing on all the seasoned individuals. That was amazing, and it's crazy how organic it was too. It reminded me of us. Like you could tell, it was just natural chemistry, nothing scripted. It was just all like, hey, let me tell you where we came from and where we're going. And shout out to brother Andre. Like that whole weekend, man, he was just a light for everybody, man. Just somebody super positive, a lot of knowledge, just a really great individual. I would say that was one of the people I met this weekend. Like, wow, this space is in good hands as a as a father. To know that there are individuals who are really passionate and care about everything that we have to deal with and what's going on. And I just want to continue to see that grow. But there were a lot of panels. Some I missed, unfortunately, due to other circumstances, but the ones I did attend, just amazing setup and well prepared by everybody that was involved.
That's amazing, man. Go ahead, Nick.
Well, I will say this. One, I'm a ditto what Trav said about Andre. Andre was dope. He was the keynote speaker that Lonnie was talking about on the first day. But because there were simultaneous workshops going on at the same time, in person, we weren't able to attend them all. And so I'll go and say one of the ones that I will go back and rewatch is the AI and how AI is being used inside the BCBA space. I know I had a side conversation where some of the attendees that were BCBAs were also in the athletic arena, because BCBAs is about changing behaviors. And so you can change behaviors in different spaces. And so the athletic space and changing behaviors, I had a side conversation. I'm terrible with names, but I had a side conversation where they're looking at using AI and analytics to change the behavior of where people shoot and how people shoot and the accuracy and all of that other stuff. So it was a really dope side conversation. And they take a bunch of data and they feed it into AI and it kicks out, some information that could help benefit an athlete. And so when you're thinking about BCBAs, I know we a lot of times like to link it strictly to the autism community, but the BCBA community is definitely more broad than just dealing with families of autism or neurodivergence. It's about changing behaviors, and you can change behaviors in multiple spaces. So, but I do want to go back and review that AI conversation, because as like a somewhat tech head, I think it could be dope in using AI, and maybe even using AI as a tool inside of creating plans for families, because they were talking about like videotaping like somebody's jump shot and then feeding that into AI and AI kicking out like the data for it. So in the conversation, it was like, well, what if we like videotape some sessions with a child and like we're able to like drop that into AI some way to come out with a plan that could be, or some data that could be part of a plan, not solely by itself, but some data that could be part of the plan for that child. Because as a parent, like all of the information that I could get to help my child, like I'll take it, feed me more, because at the end of the day, I just want my child to survive. So, but I do want to check out that AI joint.
Well, for one, I didn't know you can go back and watch it, and I'm glad to hear that, because one that I wanted to see, I didn't get a chance to see, was the entrepreneurship one. I didn't get a chance to see that one, so I want to go back and watch it. As we get ready to wrap this up, fellas, I guess in conclusion, just give me some key takeaways. You guys are giving a lot. You talked about a lot with the summit, but just key takeaways and, maybe some things you might want to experience next year.
So there were three individuals that really stood out to me this weekend, and it's more so from a perspective of just coordination and just making sure everything is running. It doesn't matter if they're tired or whatever. The social battery just kept it going. First off, Jerron Trotman, man, you'll go. What you did this weekend. I had to check on you a couple times, like, you good? Because the way he was moving back and forth to make sure everything was okay was amazing. But he kept a positive attitude the whole weekend. Shout out to Jerron. Next person, Kelly Beard. I had a chance to meet her. She's doing a lot of great things and bringing a lot of individuals together. So I wanted to shout her out. And then another person, Christina Torres. So she was another very social butterfly that was interviewing everybody, making sure that everybody was having a good time, doing the double dutch, all that good stuff. So those are just individuals I think. Oh, and I'm sorry, I got that one person, my boy Jordan. Jordan Gibson, he was another one. Him and his wife, phenomenal couple. They also have a podcast in which we'll be collaborating with them soon. But just all of those individuals I mentioned, and of course there are a lot of great people I met, but those are people I seen them everywhere I went. They made sure they took care of everybody, talked to everybody, and you have to, give credit to special individuals like that who make sure everybody is accommodated. So I just want to give a shout out to them. And then brief summary, man, I had a great time. I'm just a kid from Flint, Michigan, who had an opportunity to be on a panel with my brothers and speak my truth about my child who's on the autism spectrum, and we're looking to continue to grow from that and many more opportunities. And all of those who are watching who had a chance to meet that I may have not mentioned, looking forward to speaking with you or collaborating with you in the near future. We're all family now. I'm not going nowhere. Yeah, I'm your long distant cousin, mother, brother, son. I'm here to stay. So I look forward to just definitely connecting with you all over the years to come.
Nani, you want to go?
Yeah, I just want to say next year I'm gonna be there. I'm bringing some my cards, ready for some spades. I'm ready for my rematch. I took a L. I can admit that. You're not on me, Nick. That's on me. But next year, you know who you are. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. I'm gonna see you on the spades table.
Since you know who you are.
So first of all, let me say that it was a wonderful experience from head to toe. The accommodations were wonderful. Where it was across the street from a mall. So if there wasn't anything inside of the hotel, there was something across the street. Um, the events, Behavior Live, like Trav mentioned earlier, Jerron Coop, the Behind the Science podcast, the ABA Versus, all of the events that they were able to put on, the fellowship with the brothers, the meet and greet, the basketball game, block party, all of this surrounding the workshop. So you had an opportunity to learn, have work and play. But even after all of that, inside of the hotel, just being able to commune and have conversations with other members of the conference, just talking about different things. Somebody came up to me, RBT came up to me and asked me about my experience and how, you could get parents more involved and, just understanding that parents are, going through a whole bunch. If I wanted to add something to next year's summit conference. It's actually a summit. Jordan made sure that everybody knew it was a summit. That maybe we have, some different rooms set up for some more communication between parents, RBTs, and BCBAs, like some organized conversations to where that collaboration and that cooperation could be fostered more heavily because at the end of the day, if you are BCBA and you're especially working with children and parents, neurodivergent or autism, whatever the case may be, understanding that perspective can help you inside of how you operate into somebody else's home and somebody else's space. So trying to cultivate more of those relationships so that parents don't have bad thoughts about ABA therapy and that BCBA's RBTs don't have bad thoughts about parents. Let's all come to the table, sit and talk about the experience so everybody can walk away just a little bit better. So if we could cultivate that more, I think that would be the only thing that I would want to add, because they had a shuttle at the hotel. The shuttle took us where we needed to go, and like the people were wonderful. And so, how do you improve on, something as great as this? Is you nitpick, and so and then it's just details, and everybody's experience, just a little bit different. But if we are ever invited back to the summit, I would more than love to go again, and maybe next year we do a workshop or something like that with you all. So hats out to everybody involved, and peace to you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and Lord willing, I'll be able to make it next year. And I want to send a special shout out to Jerron for just being understanding of why I couldn't be there, and showing my brothers a great time in hospitality. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful that my bros got a chance to go out there and experience and network and fellowship. And hey, we'll be there next year. This is AutisHim. Oh,
One
what's
more
up, Nick?
thing. If you want to see it, go to Behavior Live, get your account, check out the BMBA Summit. It's still there. I looked at it like 2 days ago. So go check it out if you haven't had the opportunity to check it out. Maybe, I don't know about the whole CEU situation, but I know that they were giving CEUs. So if you watch it, reach out to them, see if that's one of those things that you're interested in, if that's still applicable to you. But please go check it out. Check our panel out. Check out the rest of the summit, and you'll be enlightened in more ways than one.
Don't think about it. Just do the shit. You heard it, man. This is AutisHim, Black Fathers and Autism, and we out.
I love you, Heartworm.